All right, Tracy. That wasn't too bad, eh? Especially the nice thing was the ball behaved. See that ball popping up in the air nicely there. So that was nice to see. What you see here, the tour players, one of the main things you see from this angle that all the tour players do in the exact same manner is that right through this impact area, their arms will be extended real well. You see how our elbows are close together because our arms are extended real well. So that's a great first thing to look at. Not too bad. Not too bad there. It's a little different here the way your head's behind the circle and you see their heads more in the circle, Tracy. So that's pretty good news. Yeah. And then you see you kind of have a backward L here a little bit with your arms and shaft like the tour players. So that's sweet to see. And then when you finish, your head's in front of the circle on top of your left foot, nothing but your right foot and right calf over a pretty straight line of your body there. So that's very similar. I like people to learn, Tracy, what they're doing right just as much, if not more so, than what they're doing wrong. So you see there's some good things going on there, like the tour players, Tracy, from this angle. That's very significant there with those hands and arms being extended right through there. And you would see that with any tour player we look at. Here's Curtis Strange. Doesn't matter which tour player we look at. That's where they'd be, and that's where you are too. So that's pretty neat. And again, like I said, it's a little different here the way your head's behind the circle at impact. They would tend to be more in front of it. Let's look at it from this down the line angle. Yeah, not too bad at all there. Let me show you this. The main thing that all the tour players do in the exact same manner from this camera angle, Tracy, is that about halfway into their downswing or 2/3 of the way in their downswing, the club head gets back on that original shaft plane line, the yellow one, this diagonal yellow one, which is exactly where they started it. And they come right on back to it on the downswing. Like I said, about halfway or 2/3 of the way into the downswing is where most of the tour players get it, right about there. And then yours is more above it, but I've seen a lot worse than that, where people are more above it than that, Tracy, over the years. I'm a grizzled veteran. So, and then here, like you noticed, your setup is kind of hunched over. See, so when you get back to impact, you're taller than you were when you started. And the tour players you see are going to tend to be right at the same height when they get back to their setup. And then the other good thing, because remember your arms were extended pretty well, you see your shaft coming through the top of your left shoulder, like the tour players, and then you do see a little bit of your left arm there, down on your side there, whereas you would see theirs not from this angle because they're extended out in front of them more. So you're pulling your arms back a little bit, but not much. So yeah, probably the one thing I'd give you to try to work on here, 2.5 hours from now, after y'all play, is to try to get a little taller in your setup there. That'd be smart, so that when you get back to impact, you're not going to be quite so tall. You're not going to need to pull back away from it as much during your swing, right? But again, we have it on tape. That ball flew out there nice and straight. Okay? Any questions about that? Okay, so now let's look at Holly from both these angles. All right, so there's Holly from the down the line angle and from the face on angle. And so you already know the right answers, Holly, since you saw me talk about those tour players from both angles. Yep. Yeah, exactly. So you wouldn't see too many tour players taking it back that far, Holly, so that's going to be a little different than the tour players. There's Ernie L, as you see, that most of them right around parallel, something like that. And then it's a little different too for you there. Remember how that line was there and the tour player stayed inside it? You kind of go outside it with your lower body, and then your back, see, is kind of leaned this way, Holly. Whereas the tour players would tend to be leaned back that way more. So that's a little different. And then on the downswing, yeah, see that head has stayed in the circle nicely like the tour players. And then let's see if your arms are extended pretty well like your mom's. Yeah, a little different there. See, your elbows are a little farther apart. You're kind of pulling away from a little bit. Your arms are scrunched up a little bit more so than what we'd see for the tour players. And as a result, you see their left hand underneath their right hand at this point in their follow through where we don't quite see your left hand. There, now it shows up. But you see how his arms are longer and kind of farther away from his shoulders at that point. But But this looks a lot like the tour players there, where you're on your front foot, like we saw with your mom, right? So that's pretty neat there. So again, a lot of good things going on. The main thing I'd say that's kind of different is the way those arms, and it's most significant, is that those arms are kind of pulling back away from it right through impact. Okay, and then let's get it from down the line. Yeah, so Michelle's y'all's coach over there now, right? Ms. Lipka? Not hanging with the JV. Yeah, great. She's an awful nice lady. Oh, you're not playing on the team this year? Oh, okay. Michelle's an awful good lady. She'd be a nice lady to be your coach there as you get into high school later in the years. So again, like we know that club egg goes back farther than what we'd see for most of the tour players. Here's Liselott Neumann, one of the Swedish tour players. So that's all the farther she goes back. And again, like we know, she'll get on that line on the downswing. Let's see yours there, Holly. Ooh, good news there, lady. Sweet. So right back on that line. Just a little later than them, but still, that's fantastic that you're on that line so well. So that means, that indicates to me that when you do catch it, it goes pretty far. Okay, so that's pretty neat. I always like it when the nice, yep, I like it when the nice young ladies are mean to the ball. I like that. So you can really be mean to that ball, it looks like, because you're on that plane line mainly. Now, if you don't hit it on the sweet spot, see how much that club head twisted? You know, that's what we feel. It's like, Joel, that club twisted my hands. Was my grip wrong? And it's not so much that as it is if we don't hit on the sweet spot. If we hit on toe like you did on this one, it twists open, or if we hit on the heel, it twists closed right at impact. But if we hit on the sweet spot more, like we could probably see your mom's here. And since she hit it pretty solidly, yeah, see, look at that. The club didn't twist at all right after impact. See how the club didn't twist at all? See what I mean, Tracy? That's kind of neat. See, it didn't twist at all because she got it more around the sweet spot. But the good news is you're on that plane line there, the last third or so of your downswing, Holly. That's helping you a lot. Yeah, and your arms are fairly well extended at that point. So it's kind of right through impact where you kind of see how you're kind of scrunching up away from it, pulling back away from it. And again, so your posture is probably going to be a little different at impact than it was for the tour players. See, their backsides will be right on that line at impact. And then you've kind of stood up a little bit, yeah. See what I mean? You've kind of stood up away from it, and so your posture is kind of changed. Yeah, both y'all did. And so chances are, yeah, you could probably stand. Yeah, if you stood up a little more too, and your setup be a little taller, that would probably help you some, Holly. All right. And again, these things are the same for all the tour players. See how the club head gets on that line, above it after impact through the top of their left shoulder with no arm showing. Time to go, I bet. Let me stop this.